Hello and welcome to Rambling On. It's Carl and Donna here. We're heading down to the storage area to check on our rig, and then we're going to take a little tour of the Las Vegas Strip. But I wanted to come to you and tell you a couple of things. The other day, an interesting conversation took place where one of my coworkers asked me this question: what is the mission of your YouTube channel? And clearly it's all about RVing and a little bit about hobby stuff and a little bit about cooking, but mostly it's about the RV lifestyle, which, as you know, we're not full-time yet, but we're hoping to be when we retire. And to answer the question about what's the mission, I think the mission of Rambling On, and it can evolve over time, but so far for the year and a few months that we've been doing the channel, I think the mission of the channel is just get out there, just go have fun, just do it however you can afford to do it in your own way and your own time. Don't be afraid to buy a travel trailer or a tent or whatever other camping venue you want to use for yourself. Get what you can afford. Don't bog yourself down financially. You can start little and get bigger and bigger. That's what most RVers do, right? Donna and I started with a pop-up camper, and then we went to a travel trailer, and then we currently have our fifth wheel, and we're talking about upgrading to a better fifth wheel, but a fifth wheel. And that's really what it's about. And I think if we had a tagline for our channel, Donna, I think it would be just get out there. And I know that's a commercial tagline for, I think it was Coleman Campers or somebody used that, but nothing says it better, because unless you just get out there, you're not gonna understand what you're missing. And the RV lifestyle, or better yet, the camping lifestyle, however you choose to do it, is such a wonderful hobby. And one of the things that I think Donna and I have noticed about it is that it allows us to spend good quality time together with very few distractions. There's typically, I know you know that we like to watch our television in the rig, but overall, when you're out like that, very few phone calls. You're not as quick to go online and look at stuff. You're not as quick to go check your Facebook, and you end up talking a lot more as a couple, and you have some good quality interactions and conversations. And by the way, I have Donna riding here with me. Donna, what are your thoughts? What would you describe as our mission for the channel?
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, and I agree with you. I think that in retirement, especially knowing that we're going to retire, this is a great way for us to spend our retirement without just sitting around and staring at each other and waiting to die. That is not who we are. But yeah, I agree with you. Get out there, have fun. You only get one round in this life. Make it everything you want it to be, right?
Yeah, and there are so many channels. There are so many YouTube channels out there that are devoted to the RV and camping lifestyle. There are so many ways for you to learn how to do what you want to do. And if it's not our channel, and I hope it is, and I wish it would be, because that's our mission, is to help you just get out there. But if it's not our channel, find a channel that works for you and teaches you what you need to know. And most channels, ours included, we are here all the time to take your questions and answer them. Our goal and
take the exit.
Our goal is to always try to get back to you the same day or the next day from when you ask us a question. We are happy to help you with questions, and if we don't know the answer, we'll go find the answer for you. So always feel free to leave us a question in the comments, because anything we can do to help perpetuate the RV community, our RV community, and the community in general, we're going to do it because we believe so strongly that it is a healthy way to spend your, mentally healthy way to spend your time. And if you look at it as no more than a hobby, that's good enough, because it's, in my opinion, it's one of the best ways to spend time with your family and your loved ones.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars.
Hey everybody, Carl and Donna here. We did, about a year ago, we went down Las Vegas Boulevard and show you guys what it looks like during COVID when there wasn't a soul in sight on Las Vegas Boulevard. It was so eerie and weird and strange. But it's been about a year, and we thought that maybe we would take you guys down the strip again and take a look at what it looks like. So hang on, we'll be right there.
Okay, so you may remember this drive from our video a year ago in March, when there was absolutely very, very little or no traffic, very few pedestrians, and we made basically the same drive from the same end of the strip going south on Las Vegas Boulevard. So we're going to see what it looks like today, but you can already tell from that last video a year ago at the beginning of COVID restrictions, this is a much, there's a lot more traffic going on. Sorry about this bumpy road. It's going to clear up in a minute. This is,
Yeah, clearly they haven't done anything about this.
yeah, they are doing road work on Las Vegas Boulevard, which is the strip.
Yeah, I know the construction down here, even back then, that they just started tearing everything up. And normally this wouldn't be something that they could do on a normal basis because of the traffic and the crowds and everything, but clearly they've taken advantage of the opportunity to try to fix some of this up. And you can see as we drive down, even facelifts to the front of the properties is happening, and it's really pretty crazy. But I do feel very much like it's definitely more populated. There's a lot more people, a lot more cars, a lot more traffic.
Yeah, and you'll see people walking nowadays. They don't have masks on because they're outside, and even though really the restrictions are that you wear a mask all the time, I guess it's a personal preference thing. If you're outside, we've never worried about masks as much when we are outside. So
The law mandate states that you have to have mask on indoors. So I'm sure there's nothing they can do to control the outdoors per se, but if you're 6 feet apart from somebody else. But I just have to say, it just feels better, right? It's starting to feel like, there's potential. Things are going to get back to normal. They are.
well, I hope this street gets back to normal, because it has a severe case of potholes.
Oh my gosh, how can it get so bad when there hasn't even been any traffic on it?
Well, I think that's the other piece of it too, is that that's why they're doing this, right? They have the reduced traffic flows, and this is the time to do it. But yeah, as Donna said, I don't know if it's picking up on my dash cam, but you can see Resort World over there is just they're going to come right up to the street, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool resort. A lot of money went into that, and I hope, even though I'm in a competitor property, I hope it does very well, because the rule of thumb in Las Vegas, and it tends to hold true, is if one of us is doing well, we're all doing well. So you always wish your competitors a happy business experience, because it means the whole town is getting healthier and doing well. So
correct me if I'm wrong, but are they widening the street as well?
No, they're putting in like pedestrian walkway over there, and then there will be a bus lane, and there's a turn lane, so it's
Oh.
not really the whole street. They're putting a big turn lane.
It's so interesting when Vegas started back in the day, you know, they didn't plan for a street any wider. I mean, this is as wide as it can ever really get because all the properties come right up to the street.
Well, they have widened it. They have, over time, they've eaten into the properties that are along the strip. They've eaten into their land.
Frontage.
Their frontage.
Space.
Right now it's basically 6 lanes across. When we first moved here, it was 4. It was 2 each way.
Mm-hmm.
So they widened it by a lane. I agree with you. I don't think they can go much more, but you know, at some point, the properties need their own footprint, right? And so one of the things that I will say is that they have, we have a monorail, which we didn't used to have, and that especially during heavy convention times,
Yeah.
that has reduced the vehicle traffic a lot. And, you know, of course, the perpetuation of Uber and Lyft has still vehicle traffic, but that has helped a little bit ease up some of the traffic. And so, you know, there's actually been talk, it didn't go far, but there has been talk about making the strip pedestrian only, at least at the southern end of it. I don't see that happening, but it might. And they did that downtown with Fremont Street. You may if you know about Las
Yeah.
Vegas, downtown Fremont Street used to go past all of those downtown properties, and they literally opened up onto the street. And in the summer, you could hear the slot machines
Oh, it was so
going
much
off
fun.
as you drove.
I remember as a kid vacationing here, that was the big thing, was we would drive downtown, and just as we turned on Las Vegas Boulevard, we would roll the windows down on the car and just listen. And it was like, oh, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah,
I
all that
kinda
noise
miss
would
that.
come out onto the street, right?
Yeah.
And so now that whole thing, though, is an experience. They have a canopy down there
Yeah.
that they show video displays on, and
There's a zip line.
it's all outdoors, or it's outdoor pedestrian, and it actually came out pretty cool. The original, you know, it started kind of slow, and then it just picked up momentum, and now it's a really neat place to go visit or even stay down there. They have some really nice hotels down there. I used to work at the Golden Nugget in my earlier days, and I've always have a soft spot in my heart for downtown Las Vegas, but of course the Strip is where the action is, right? But if you come to Las Vegas,
And
at
it's
least,
not like if you come here to visit, you can't stay downtown and expect to be able to walk to the Strip. They're not that close together. Like, you would have to get a cab, you know, and transport between the two. There's a really good space between downtown and the Strip, just so you understand. And it's so funny because tourists constantly talk about, you know, friends that come to visit about they thought they could just walk it. You know, they look at their hotel where they're staying and they think, oh, it's just a couple of blocks to blah, blah, blah. But oh my God, our blocks here, really long. Really long.
yeah, it's you really don't want to, unless you're very healthy.
Yeah.
You really don't want to try to walk anywhere, especially in the heat of the summer.
Don't bring your flip-flops. They'll melt on the pavement out here.
Yeah, so it's a cool town, though. I'm glad we live here,
been
but look
very
at the
good to
traffic,
us.
right? I'll try to show a little clip of March of last year, but there was no traffic going on.
Trump Tower is over here to the right. And what's in this front space going, Carl?
I don't know. what
Wow,
that
that's a
is.
huge space right here, and neither one of us know what's going on there. We don't get down here very often. I think it was a year ago since we were down here last.
Yeah, show them what you're talking about over there.
Well,
because they
oh,
can't
yeah,
see
yeah,
it
yeah.
on my camera.
Let's see if I can.
No, you just swing your camera.
Okay, well,
There you
anyway,
go.
there's a big space over here
Yeah, it's all
in
blocked
front of
off.
Trump Tower. There's nothing there. So eventually there will be something there. But the other thing I was going to say was a year ago when we drove down here, bicycles. All you saw was people could bicycle right down Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah.
And it was like the thing to do, right? It was like a fun, because it's not something you could ever do and may never do again.
Right, and you know what? Here's the thing too: is that we're not saying that the COVID pandemic is over, because it's not yet, right? But there is certainly a lot of light at the end of the tunnel, and certainly comparing this year to last year, drive up and down the Strip, you can see that things are slowly starting to get back to normal. You still need to exercise your safety precautions and your distancing and all of those things. You still need to stay safe. We're not out of the woods yet, but it is so nice to see our city. It was so depressing for us being residents here, driving down the strip last March when there was absolutely no traffic.
You could just feel the weight of it emotionally.
Yeah, it felt like a ghost town, right?
Yeah.
And so we're, just to give you your bearings, we're crossing Fashion Show Drive. We're on the strip. We're going past the Wynn. It's on our left. And we are coming up on the Treasure Island, Mirage, and Venetian up here. So this is, you know, again, these, remember last March, if you saw the video, the marquees were shut down because literally at that point in time, business was shut down. Like we weren't allowed to operate our business. There was a 2 or 3 week period there, I believe, that the city was literally shut down. And so the marquees were all closed down.
Which has never happened.
No, the town, excuse me, the town was just a ghost town back then. And you know, a good news is, you know, like I said, we've got a lot of traffic going, not normal. These are not normal levels. Normally it's pretty much bumper to bumper at this hour of the day. And you kind of just ease along to go up and down Las Vegas Boulevard.
I'm going to show you, I'm going to turn this around so I can show you guys. There is some kind of event going on at the Mirage, and that is the most people I have seen. It's a bicycle event.
Wow.
I haven't seen that many people gathered in over a year. I'm not sure what's going on there, but that's quite the scene there.
Yeah, and you know what? The good news is they're all outdoors, and you know, as long as there's a nice breeze, which there is today, there's actually a chilly breeze for this moment in Las Vegas. It's about 45 degrees outside, which is chilly for Las Vegas folks, right? And but you're outside, there's some breeze going on, so it's moving all of those breath clouds out of the vicinity. So I would feel relatively safe being outside for a biking event or whatever, because you know I bicycle so much.
So we're getting ready to go past Caesar's Palace and followed by the Cosmopolitan on the right, and got a lot of bicyclers in town. Still going down the middle of Las Vegas Boulevard there. Okay. Anyway, well, it feels good, and I'm glad we did this, and I'm glad we could share it with you guys. Listen, hey, we've lived here for over 30 years. You got any questions about Vegas, don't hesitate to hit us up and let us know. We'll do whatever we can to answer your questions.
And what's our rule? If we don't have the answer, we'll get you the answer.
We'll get you the
So moving on up the strip here, as Donna said, we're in front of Caesar's Palace, and something interesting about Caesar's Palace is from the time we moved here till now, to today, they have probably expanded like 5 times over the course of our 40-some years living in Las Vegas. And they are just, it is a true mega resort. You don't hear as much about it these days as you hear about some of the other properties in town, but one of the things that I'll say is that it is just steady as she goes. Caesar's Palace, it seems like it's always been here, and it seems like it will always be here.
Yeah.
It was the first mega resort. It was the first luxury resort on the strip, and everybody else kind of followed after that and evolved into bigger, better, brighter, and so forth. But nothing but fond affection for Caesar's Palace. It's just a hallmark of Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's always been a fun property to go to, a beautiful property. Gives you a real sense of what Vegas was. I remember back in the day, their cocktail servers, they actually came in to work early, and they got costume and makeup and hair before they went out on the floor. And it was
like there was a department devoted to helping them with their makeup, their costumes, and their hair. And you know, they may still do that. I haven't heard about it in years, but they may still be doing that. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so we're coming up on the Park MGM, and the big green MGM Grand is over there to our left. I don't know to our left. I don't know if you can see it over there, but again, that property was built by Kirk Kerkorian. It's a mega resort, and his history in Las Vegas goes back quite a ways. The property I work at right now is the Westgate Las Vegas, and Westgate purchased that property, but it was previously a Hilton property, but it was actually built by Kirk Kerkorian, and it opened as the International. You may know that. It opened as the International, and he built it, and it was the first tri-wing property where it had 3 wings coming off of it, and that has since become kind of the Las Vegas standard. Well, he built that, he sold it to the Hilton organization, and then not too long after that, he built the first MGM Grand, which is now Bally's, and it's at the corner of Caesar's Palace and Bally's. And he built that property. It was a wonderfully large mega resort, high-end, high-class. And then a few years went by, he sold that ultimately to Bally's, and a few years went by, and he built the big, what we call the Big Green Building, which is actually to my left right now. And it's, I don't know if you can see much of it, but it's sitting over there to the left. We're about to pass the big gold lion, Donna. See if you can get that.
I don't see it.
And so he built that, and he built that on the site of the Marina Hotel, which was an old staple hotel in Las Vegas. And he bought the Marina, and they actually incorporated part of the Marina Hotel into the Big Green Building. They certainly modified it and made it better and special. So that's kind of the story of Mr. Kerkorian. God bless him. He kind of preempted Steve Wynn in putting the city on the map, and then of course after him came the Steve Wynns of the world, and they just turned our city into nothing but luxury. And you know, you got to give them credit for turning this town into something really spectacular in the middle of the desert. Up here on our right is the Mandalay Bay. You probably can see that in my dash cam. Mandalay Bay is now part of the MGM organization. It was originally owned by or built by the Circus organization. And anyway, so it's a beautiful property, and that's pretty much the Las Vegas Strip. And again, it's a pretty stark comparison to what it looked like a year ago when we drove up the Strip. And I don't know about y'all, but kind of happy to get off of that bumpy strip, even though we're still hitting a few bumps. But anyway, there's the Mandalay Bay Convention Center on the right there. There is a lot of convention space in this city. Westgate has a lot. Westgate, of course, is right next to the Las Vegas Convention Center. And a big chunk of our business is convention. And here's the good news about conventions, right? They're coming back, and they're not back yet in full force. Don't let me overstate it, but slowly but surely, these conventions that make the city run along with our regular vacationers, these conventions are slowly starting to book again. And it feels like we're on our way out of the pandemic. And again, things can change, ugly stuff can happen, but for right now, I've got high hopes. I think we're gonna get back on the road again. And anyway, what are your thoughts, baby?
Yep, I think you said it well. I think everything is so much better. Really looking forward to a little bit of normalcy again. Concerts coming back, entertainment coming back. I mean, it's not even so much that we participated in those things, but knowing they were available to us, right? Just knowing we could do those things when we want. You know, living in a 24-hour town, basically, it's something that you get accustomed to. Is you're never at a loss of having entertainment at your fingertips to do something.
Well, we do have Garth Brooks tickets.
We do.
And that show has been postponed, what, twice now?
Twice.
So
he was going to open the new Allegiant Raiders Stadium, and
the Allegiant Arena, yeah.
yes, and so we're still looking forward to that. Right now, it's scheduled for July, and I don't see any reason why that won't happen. But yeah, that's our plan.
Yeah, we're still keeping our fingers crossed, and you know, I think so. We do participate in the entertainment stuff occasionally, right?
Yeah.
A little bit, but It just that little drive just feels good. That it feels like we're getting traffic back and we're getting people back. I don't know if you recall, over here's the Welcome to Las Vegas sign, and Donna and I stopped there and did some video last year.
Hi guys, happy Easter. We're out here on Las Vegas Strip just for you guys. Thought we'd take a little stroll down the strip and see how crazy empty it is. It's kind of surreal. But we're here in front of the Las Vegas sign. Usually there are cars and people waiting in line, and we're out here kind of all by ourselves this morning. Love you guys. Thanks so much for your support.
And there were maybe 12 people. And now there's a line going into the parking lot and a whole bunch of cars. So again, all good signs.
Good sign, yeah.
Hey guys, we're glad you joined us today on our little ride down the Las Vegas, the beautiful Las Vegas Strip, the legendary Las Vegas Strip.
Listen, don't forget to push that like button and subscribe so you guys know when we're running another video.
And share. We love it when you share our videos, because that means you're willing to subject your friends to our craziness.
And if you comment down below, it helps the algorithm with YouTube and we get more views that way. So don't forget to do all those things. We really appreciate you guys being here with us. It's so much fun to share our town with you all.
Yes. And we'll see you next week.